Welcome back to our second day discussing the writing process. Now, yesterday I shared with you the very first step in the writing process, brainstorming. I shared some resources that I myself used for my own writings all the way through college. And these are the same resources I used when I was a teacher and that I use with my own child when they brainstorm their writing. Today, I want to finish out how this process works. Honestly, brainstorming is what I see to be the most important step. Once you have organized all the thoughts that you have in your head, it's very easy to write those out on paper. You are, like I mentioned before, you are simply developing maybe one sentence per bubble, maybe one paragraph per bubble, maybe one chapter per bubble, but you're using these ideas and thoughts and you're just turning them into complete sentences. The awesome thing about that visual strategy is for children who become so overwhelmed by the thought of writing a 5-paragraph essay, that visual allows them to break it into smaller pieces and work on different sections each day. So it doesn't seem like this daunting task anymore. Okay, so as far as your rough draft, you are going to use that brainstorming visual that you have and simply create sentences out of the ideas that you've placed on it in the correct progression of thought. Okay, so we've brainstormed, we've created a rough draft. The third step would be editing. Now, obviously, editing and revising are going to look very different depending on how old your child is. Editing is actually correcting the grammar and the like capitalization, punctuation. Okay, so it's ensuring that it's written correctly. Revising is adding more detail or giving more description or taking out sentences that don't really belong. Okay. In the early years, we focus on editing mainly. Now, on my website, once again, I have 3 resources for you to help you with this task. Okay. I have a very simple editing checklist I would use this again for kindergarten, first grade, early second grade. These are the key things that after they've written that rough draft, you want to take this checklist and have them check. Do they have all complete sentences? Are they using capitalization? Are they using punctuation? Is it all spelled correctly? Once we get up into the older grades, here is a more in-depth editing checklist. Okay, it has the same concepts from that younger one, but more details. Are you using paragraphs? Did you indent your paragraph? Does each paragraph have 5 to 7 sentences? Okay. If you're writing a narrative, do you have the correct elements, the progression of events? If you're writing an argumentative, are you showing 3 to 5 reasons? Okay. Are you adding a lot of detail? So this is a very simple checklist, but great for third grade and up. Okay. I also have a more detailed checklist on there that you can look that I've pulled off of a separate website, and I'll let you take a look at it. So it talks a lot more about that revision. Okay, this is my favorite part of this checklist. Is it saying, could I add more details, description, more lively words to make my sentences sound better, or to give more depth to my story? Okay, it questions, do I need to take anything out that doesn't really make sense? So I love this revision portion of this resource right here. This is on my website as well. And the editing portion is very similar to the ones I just showed you. So all of those resources are on my website. You can print a couple of those out, use those to help your child edit their writing. Now, editing and revising is a skill that grows, okay? When you first start doing that, your child might be great at editing, but they're not really great at revising. So do this with them. Be an active participant in this portion of their writing process, because you want to show them what you mean by, can we add more description to this? Give them examples. You're going to have to feed them a lot of those additional sentences at the beginning. Okay, so, and then as they become more proficient in this, what you could do is you review it yourself and just make a note. I think you should add more details here, and then see what they can come up with on their own. But remember, this is a process. It's something that they start out, they're not going to be great at this. It's going to take years to really refine their ability to revise and edit their writing. So be patient with this part of the process and be supportive and really help them identify those areas of their writing that need work. Now, personally, this is where I bring in my grammar instruction. If I'm seeing a similar mistake over and over in writing, then I might pop in a specific grammar lesson or a week worth of grammar lessons about that topic. Okay, so we have done brainstorming, we've done rough draft, we've talked about editing and revising, and then all it is your final draft. Some parents choose to have them type the final draft. That's great practice for typing. Some parents choose to have them rewrite it. Great practice for handwriting. Whatever works for you. Okay? Now, a couple of other things I want to note is, although this is the instruction and the process that I use to teach writing, sometimes we need to add in something else to boost learning, okay? Not every child needs this additional learning, but some kids do. If you notice that your child really struggles with vocabulary, they forget new words, they don't use creative words, then that might be a separate area of instruction that you want to use, that you want to add into your week as a whole. I would not purchase a vocabulary program at the beginning of the year and start teaching it. I don't think this is something that all children need instruction in. However, if you start to see that your particular child needs that, then that's where I would go with that. On my website, once again, I have a fantastic resource that I use for vocabulary. We write the word out, I have them use it in a sentence, and then I have them draw a picture to help them get a visual of what that word means in their head. So that's on there. You could use that if you want to. There also are a variety of vocabulary programs that you can purchase. Okay, spelling programs. Spelling is another area that some children need that additional instruction. Some children just don't. Some children, by reading and writing and phonics instructions, they learn to spell and they memorize it and they move on. I have put links to 2 different spelling programs that I think are fantastic programs. Those links are on my website. So check those out again under the resources. The 2 top programs that I would look at, one's a little bit more expensive than the other, but both of them I think are fantastic. And then finally, every family I work with, this is what I stress. If you want your child to improve in grammar, to improve in their writing, to improve in their sentence structure, read quality literature with them. Classical literature. The classical books have the most complex sentence structure that you are going to find. Children have to really dive in and dig down to understand that. They have to move slower. They have to think about what they're saying. They restructure the sentences in their head. And truly, truly, if you are reading quality literature to your child, that sentence structure, that vocabulary, you are going to see it in their writing. It's kind of like what goes in comes out. So if they're taking in that kind of vocabulary and sentence structure, you're going to see it come back out in their writing. Okay, so like I said, is it an absolute surefire way to avoid, a formal grammar program? Not necessarily. But if you haven't noticed a problem with your child's vocabulary, with their spelling, with their grammar, I wouldn't necessarily add that individualized instruction in. I would start with the writing process as a whole, a very laid back technique to teach how to write and to improve their writing. I would target individual areas that you see as a concern rather than spending every day on grammar when they might know 50% of it already. Okay, any questions? Reach out. Send me an email, send me a message through Facebook, contact me via my website. I hope all of these tips have been helpful to you. I would be more than happy to help you design a reading program or a reading intervention for your child, a writing program or a writing intervention for your child. This is what I did when I was in school as a public school teacher, and what I did when I worked with teachers and I helped them design programs like this for their children in their classrooms. And I would love to use those skills with you as well. Please reach out to me with your questions, or shout out to me if you have a question that you would like me to do a video on. Okay, a concern that you're having. I hope that you all are off to a super strong start. I look forward to hearing your questions, and I hope that everyone has a fantastic October. I will see y'all later. Bye.